Hey, James.
Happy to be here and really excited to share with everyone what we have in store here.
Exactly. You have been working with lots of agents, big real estate teams, and it has to do with utilizing this big, vast network of cash buyers. Tell us a little bit about that because I know that many of our agents have used systems like that before. How is this different?
I call this the ultimate seller lead conversion tool. And
Mm,
by lead conversion, really that's a big umbrella, right? When we say lead conversion or seller conversion, really. Are you talking about converting a seller into an appointment? Are you talking about converting an appointment into a listing? Are you talking about converting a seller into a cash offer situation where they take up an investor's offer? There's a big umbrella there. And the answer to that is all of the above. But circling back, I know that as 2026 is here, and it is not unusual for real estate agents to come with options for sellers. And one of those options today, very commonly, is to have access to cash offers for a seller as an option. What would be their preference? To list the property on the open market. But to have options, no one could argue to have options it would certainly be a good thing. Here's the challenge. What I find is this: most agents that say that they have a cash offer option, they never use it. They don't use the cash offer option. So when asked why don't you use it? What do you mean you're not using it? It is because, generally speaking, it's unreliable. And here's what I mean by that. You're following up with a seller. You want to convert them by giving them options. You have options available. So you go to your cash offer investor and you enter the address of the seller to see what offer you can get. And there's no offer. Or it says it'll take 5 days to get an offer. Or it comes back with an offer that is embarrassingly, insultingly below market value. And the agent only has to do this so many times where they realize it's no longer a viable option. Using the cash offers is not a viable option that they have available to them. So they have it, they just don't use it in the way that they could be. Now,
right.
and that's why the platform that we're offering in partnership with Success combines all the various cash offer platforms into one. So there are 6 or 7 nationally recognized cash investor platforms where their motivation is to purchase properties. They want to buy properties all over the United States. And because you're combining all of them into one, we can actually pull up market value cash offers, plural, instantaneously within seconds for any address in the United States of America. And if one of those platforms doesn't make an offer, that's okay. The others will. If one of those platforms pulls up an offer that is too low, that's okay. The other platforms will make offers that are more within market value range. Because we're combining all of them, what it does is it eliminates the out of the ordinary.
Mm,
And now what it allows you to do is consistently and predictably, like clockwork. We know that if we're following up with a seller, we can enter their address, and with 100% confidence, we can immediately enter that address, pull up the offers, and be able to say to our seller, I'm going to come and take a look at your property and bring you options. I work with a network of cash investors, and they've made multiple market value offers on your property as an option for you to consider. And
it's
if
great to be the
it
one with the options.
that's it. And so that's how I want that. And if you have that option and you're confident that you can always go with, it's not like, yeah, if it's something you'd consider, then I'll go back to the office and I'll try to get you some offers. No. By that time, the ship has sailed. Too late. We need to have instantaneous access to market value offers, and the offers need to be exactly that. We need multiple offers, and they need to be within market value range. They can't be 60 cents on the dollar. We got to get rid of those ones,
Right.
right?
Now, I know
And
that
this
in
allows
our
us to
in our
do that.
training, yeah, when we're training agents on how to use this, you'd mentioned that this is a conversion system.
Correct.
And can you explain that a little bit, like how you train agents to use this as a way to convert more calls into appointments or more leads into
Right.
appointments?
One thing that you want to understand is that we don't want to be the cash offer agent. We want to be the options agent, right? Being known as the agent that has all the options is wonderful. Being known as the agent that does cash offers is not good, because maybe 1 in 10 sellers, it'll be appropriate to take a cash offer. The other nine, the appropriate course of action would be to list it on the open market. So we got to be really careful. We're using these cash offers to convert sellers because we have options available to them. And when I say that, Kristie, what I'm referring to is this: we got to separate converting to appointments, in other words, getting in the door, with getting the listing. And I want to show you how, by having access to this option for our sellers, we can accomplish both. But they're different. Let me explain. If I want to get in the door with the seller and I'm able to say, in addition to sharing how we can market your home on the open market to get you top dollar, the other option that I have available is my network of cash investors. As a matter of fact, I've already pulled up multiple no obligation market value cash offers on your property, and I'm going to explain them and leave them with you as an option when we get together. I want to get in the door. I've
Hmm.
already pulled up the cash. Well, can you tell me what the offers are? My investors have asked that I look at your property and explain them in person, but I wouldn't waste your time. I wouldn't, embarrass myself by bringing you insulting offers. We'll go over those and I'll leave them with you as an option when we come and take a look at your property. It's an
Right.
option to get in the door. And remember, we're literally pulling up the offers as we speak. We're doing it before we even pick up the phone, or while we're talking. The seller calls you. Yeah, I want an evaluation. What's your address? Put it into the cash offer. Literally within seconds, from all of these nationally recognized cash offer investor platforms, they're immediately utilizing the algorithm and they're pulling up multiple offers, sometimes over a dozen offers per property from all of the companies combined, right? So we can do this in real time. And to get in the door, well, the only way we're showing them the offers is by getting in the door. But what we're really doing is we're plussing our value by coming with more options available to that seller. Maybe it would be appropriate for them to take a cash offer. And that leads in perfectly to your next point, which is converting them to a listing. Like, in other words, if they're not going to take a cash offer, and it's great that you provided this option, but it's not really, something that they're going to utilize. Au contraire, mon frere. Yes, they are. Here's the way we explain it. The cash offers are an insurance policy. They are essentially a guaranteed sale program. If at any time your home doesn't sell, we will sell your home to one of our cash investors. We will negotiate with any offer. Your home is essentially sold. What we're going to do is get you more money on the open market, but you can go to bed every night with the peace of mind of knowing that at any time, for any reason, if we want to get it sold and done, we've got cash offers waiting in the wings that we can take advantage of and sell your home at any time. So there is no such thing as your home expiring off the market. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what we're also explaining to the seller is this: the way that we get the highest price for your property is through demand. The more demand on any kind of supply, the price goes up. The problem that most realtors have is that when they get a buyer interested in the property, they have to tell that buyer or their agent, there are no other offers. There's no competition.
Hmm.
You're it. And what it does is it encourages lowball offers. We eliminate that for our agents because at all times we have standing offers on the property. So when the agent says, hey, my buyer likes your property, they want to make an offer, do you have any offers? Only we get to say, yes, we are working with a few offers, but we would very much like to see your offer. Please encourage your buyer to submit their best offer, and I'm certain we can make something happen. And what it does, it encourages them to make an offer, but they know no point in making a lowball offer. They've already got those. We should, if we
Yeah.
really want the property, we just need to get a little closer to asking price. That's all we ask. But that
It's the
doesn't
demand
happen
is built in. Yeah, it's like
built
built-in
in.
demand for the
Whether
listing.
whether that's on day 1 of the listing or whether that's on day 15 or day 20 or day 30, whatever, whenever there's an offer on the property, we always have standing offers. So no buyer ever makes an offer on the property without knowing that they are in competition. It's brilliant and it works.
Mhm.
And when I say works, what am I talking about? You explain this to your seller. When you list with me, you're listing with all of my investors who you're leveraging off of to get higher offers from an outside buyer. If you elect to list with any other agent in the marketplace, all of that is gone. It goes away. There is now no activity on your property. There are no offers. There's no demand. So when a buyer and their agent call and say, hey, we want to make an offer. Do you have any offers? Nope, nothing. Lowball me. You're in the
Mm.
driver's seat. You have all the leverage. Offer whatever you want. You got nothing to lose. That's what they have to say. And that is why we're able to get more money for our sellers' homes than the average agent in the marketplace. When our agents that are trained with this language explain this to their seller, where do I sign? Where do I sign?
It's pretty compelling. Pretty compelling
There's
when
nowhere to
you've
go.
got all of these options and insurance policies built in.
Because we got to understand there are certain sellers where taking a cash offer really is appropriate. It really is the right thing to do. What do I mean by that? It's when time is more important than money. In other words, yes, of course, I want to maximize and get as much out of my property, but what's more important is that we're out of here yesterday. That's more important, right? There's been, maybe there's financial hardship, a job loss, medical issue, a divorce. Um, there are circumstances where there's urgency. I got to get out of here. And that's the
Yeah.
most important thing. So speed is of the essence. And we can take a single closed cash offer and we could have it closed in 7 to 10 days. Out of there. Nothing. No for sale sign. Gone. Out of there. That's a
Yeah.
great option that only you have available, right? Maybe it's a divorce where, it's been court ordered, right? They got to sell the property. And you can come in with a cash offer solution where, you know, maybe it's husband and wife, and you can bring them a cash offer that allows them to close and get their money immediately, but does a lease back option. So maybe, not to stereotype, but maybe mom and kids get a lease back. They stay in the house for 6 months or a year while they figure out what they were going to do without the stress of that urgency that's been placed upon them by the court in some cases. You are the solutions agent. And this gives you the tool to be able to do that.
It's a great position to be in. And there's all sorts of ways you can approach this, different niches, different groups.
Let's say you got involved in the success cash offer platform here. One of the very first things that we would train you on is how today there are more and more expired and canceled listings coming off the market. And many of them are a great opportunity. I mean, these sellers have already demonstrated, obviously, a motivation to sell. They're on the market, right? They were listed. What is also very likely, particularly with those that are canceled, is they're not going to use the agent that they were using before, right? Otherwise, they
No.
would be relisted, right? So we've got this golden opportunity. The challenge that we have is this. The other agents that are going to call them or going to approach them are all going to say the same thing, which is highly ineffective. I think I can get a buyer for your property, right? I have a buyer. I might have a buyer for your property. And the problem is this. Unless the seller is extremely stupid, the seller is going to wonder, quite rightfully so, where were you when my house was on the market for 6 months? If you've got all these buyers all of a sudden, where were they? My home was just listed for 6 months. And they're right. Oh, mysteriously, now you have a buyer. The day my property came off the market, now you've got buyers for my house. But before, I got nothing. That doesn't really, it stinks a little. Doesn't seem really to, it seems a little disingenuous, and it is.
Yeah,
Instead,
right.
here's what we're doing. Christie's homes come off the market, and I'm able to say this. Hey, Kristie, I'm certain that you've been inundated with realtors calling you wanting your listing. I'm actually calling for a different reason. I work with a network of investors who only purchase off market properties like yours is now. As a matter of fact, your home came across their radar and they've given me 5 market value offers on your property now. And if you're still considering selling, I'd love to show them to you, leave them with you, and you can make a decision when you're ready. Would there be a good time you could show me your home?
Well, why don't you just tell me what they are and I'll consider it.
Well, Christy, because I work for my network of investors, what they've asked of me is that number one, I look at your property and confirm some of the details, but they've also asked that I show you and explain their offers in person. I can assure you of this though. I would not embarrass myself and I certainly wouldn't waste your time if these were not serious offers absolutely worth looking at. Would there be a good time you could show me your home and I can take you through the offers and leave them with you?
Yep, absolutely. I got to sell this thing.
Where are you going to go? And here's the
Yep,
key. I am immediately telling you it is because your home is off the market that my investors are interested. I'm building in the
right.
objection before it comes out of their mouth. I know the other agents are calling saying they have buyers. I don't have any buyers. I've got offers. But the
Mm,
offers are conditional. The only reason the offers are valid is because your house is not listed on the MLS. That's it. That's why. The other agents can't say any of that. They're stuck.
that's right.
And that's why so many agents give up on calling the expireds and the for sale. They give up because they're like, yeah, I get stumped and I got nowhere to go. They're like, they don't
Well,
believe me.
they spend a lot of time, yeah, talking about themselves and their track record and all the great things that they can do. And sure, that's all well and good, but that doesn't answer that question for the seller. Like, what am I getting out of this? What can you give to me that my previous agent could not? How can you help me sell this house that I obviously need to
And that
sell?
is one of the key questions. See, because 9 times out of 10, when we get that appointment, what we find is this, it's just a listing. Like, if there's one thing that the expired canceled listing has demonstrated, it is that speed is not the primary factor in their move. Clearly, right?
Yeah.
They expired. They were on the market for 6 months, so they didn't sell. Clearly, there's no urgency is not their primary motivation to sell. Now, maybe it's starting to become their motivation, but their number one motivation was money in their pocket. That's why they didn't sell. They didn't
Hmm.
reduce their price, or they didn't reduce it enough, or they didn't accept the offer or work with the offers that were brought to them. They were motivated by getting the most amount of money. So
Yeah.
we know right away off the bat, for them, listing it on the open market is definitely going to bring them more money than any cash offer is going to bring them. So we know that when we get in the door, we can show them the cash offers, but we can explain to them because you're most motivated by getting the most amount of money out of your property, because we have these cash offers, we can leverage them to get more money from an outside buyer. That's why we're able to get more money for our sellers' homes. Out of curiosity, did your last agent have a network of cash investors that they leveraged? Oh, they didn't. I got to tell you, looking at your property, I find it puzzling that it didn't sell the first time. Can you point to anything that your agent did or didn't do that you think may have, you know, gotten in the way?
Mm,
Now we know the
yeah.
truth. We know what happened. What happened was they overpriced their listing, of course. But we
Yeah.
also know
Yeah.
that statistically, it is a certainty that when an expired listing goes back on the market, it goes back on the market at a reduced price.
Of course.
Overwhelmingly, it does.
Yeah.
So we automatically know we're going to bring it at a reduced price. So
Yeah.
what's our tool? It's to get in the door, not push a cash offer on them, but show them how we use these cash offers as an insurance policy, like a guaranteed sale. And we use these to leverage to get a higher offer from an outside buyer because they know they're in competition. We could do the same thing with for sale by owners, right? They've been trying to sell their
Yep.
property for 3 weeks unsuccessfully. The only calls they've received are from who? Realtors. And we get to call and say, hey, I work with a network of cash investors, and your property came across their radar because they only buy off market properties like yours. I've got 6 offers on your property. When would be a good time to show them to you? In the door. You're not saying
And I think this
I can pull them up. You're saying I'm looking at them right now. I'm literally looking at the offers right now. I'd love to tell you what they are. When can I show them to you?
right. A big part of this is being able to communicate these things effectively, and that's a huge part of the training. It's one thing to have these tools, and as you said at the beginning of this, a lot of agents have them, but they're not using them because they don't
Unreliable.
understand.
Well, yeah, it's twofold. You're absolutely right. First of
Yeah,
all, the platform that they're using is unreliable. They can pull up a property and get no. There's a $600,000 property. It pulls up a 380 offer. What are you going to do with that?
yeah,
It's useless, right? Or they put an address that says, send me pictures, send us pictures and all the information on the property. By that time, the ship has sailed. You
yeah,
can't. We don't have days. We need instantaneous. That's the first side of the equation, and the second side is exactly what you're talking about. If we've got this great tool, but we don't know how to utilize it. We don't know the words that need to come out of our face hole to properly explain it and compel, then it's ineffective, right? So
yeah.
it's definitely a
You
combination of
can't
both.
you can't use it. Yeah, if you don't know how to communicate the benefits in a very effective, concise manner, then you're going to struggle with getting your foot through the door. You're going to
Precisely.
struggle with convincing a seller that this is the real deal. And I've heard you train agents on how to do this, and I do feel like sometimes you have to hear it over and over again, and sometimes you got to role play a little bit, and sometimes you got to throw in different objectives and scenarios and things like that, but that's all part of the training, right?
Yeah.
Because every situation is different. There's always challenges that come up.
Sparked something too. Let me point this out because this is a
Mhm.
really, really important point. The difference with these cash offers is that the investors really do want to purchase real estate. Many of them are like Wall Street hedge funds. They're national buyers. They've all got proof of funds in the billions. It's not some guy with a tool belt and a hard hat that thinks they're going to fix and flip because they watch too much late night TV. These are real
Right.
investors that really do. They want to go through, and every day our customers are closing a cash offer deal with one of the investor buyers. And that's very different from, you know, some of the 80s trainers that talk about, oh, you offer this guarantee, but you never buy any. You don't want to buy the house. In 20 years, I never bought anything. So in
Mhm.
other words, if you do need to use it, there's nothing you don't. With these, nothing could be further from the truth. The investors want to purchase the properties, and they do every day um, across the country.
Mhm.
So,
That's their business.
right, it is their business. It's how they make their money. They have these great big office buildings, not because nobody takes the cash offer, because it's some kind of trick, like a bait and switch trick.
Yeah.
No, they do it because they make money on real estate, and they play the long game. They want to own real estate, and that's how they make all of their money. So when you're getting into this situation where you have a seller and clearly the appropriate course of action is to utilize the cash offers, we have the confidence of knowing that when we move forward and we request final and we're getting the due diligence done and we're getting that final offer, we know it's going to be a good offer, it's going to be a real offer, and it's going to close. And that investor is going to pay you directly for putting that deal
Mhm.
together for them. And we do it every single day. And that's
And it's all
comforting.
it's all laid out. Yeah, all of the terms are there. Nothing's held back in terms of details and how these deals are done. And these are live people that you can actually talk to as well. I think each company has its own representative that you can work with,
Right.
And as you said, that is their business, is to buy
And
homes
there are
and do
no
more
and there are
deals.
no strings attached or conditions, like, it's a buyer making an offer on a property. It's not like, "Well, you can only do that if you purchase another home through me, and you pay me this commission, and you have to be moving up in the market." No conditions,
Mhm,
no
mhm.
tricks,
Right.
you know, 80s ways of tricking them to sign on the dotted line, and then when it comes to fruition, it's like, "Yeah, nope, you can't do that." No,
Mm,
it's a buyer, legit buyer who will go ahead and purchase the property within a market value range. And that is, now we're talking 2026 here. And that's what's going to
yes.
set you apart, because although this is available to every agent, it is utilized by a tiny, tiny percentile.
Right. You
Unfortunately,
wanna be part of that.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter what the market is doing, there'll always be plenty of business to go around when what you are offering as the options agent represents a fraction of all the agents in the marketplace. That's how you win.
Well, when you can approach a seller with built-in demand for their property, I don't see what could be more compelling than that.
Here's what I think is so great about this as well. Um, it's one thing for us to explain it and talk about the opportunity. It's another thing to try it for yourself. And I know that right now through your platform, you're offering like a 2 week, a 14-day, absolutely no strings attached free trial.
That's right. Successoffers.ai. You get 14 days, try the platform, check it out for yourself. And we will provide hours and hours of training, live training sessions for you to really dig into because there are nuances to this and
100%.
the technology is great. But as we said, if you're not sure how to really utilize it and describe it and be able to explain the value to these homeowners, then you are going to struggle. But if you're the agent who can describe it, can sell it, can get your foot through the door, you're gonna win
Hey,
more listings, absolutely.
now I got to tell you, because this is almost like the sounds too good to be true part of the exercise here today. If you were to approach any of the individual platforms on their own, right? Any of the institutional investment buyer companies on their own individually, it would be a monthly subscription. And the monthly subscription for any single one is greater than the monthly subscription for all of them combined on the platform, which is a head scratcher. But we were able to negotiate that because of volume and use. The kind of agent that takes advantage of the offers, of the platform, of the conversion, they're the ones that are meeting with the sellers and they're getting the cash offers. Remember, these platforms make their money by purchasing properties. They don't make it on agents subscribing and then never using it. They make their money when they buy, hold, and then ultimately sell real estate and leverage off of their investments. That's how they make their money. So they want to have agents utilizing them that are going to make that happen for them. So because of this, anyone, yeah, you're spending a few $100 a month. With this, we've got it down to $97 a month, pay as you play. What does pay as you play mean? Oh, it means what you think it means. It means keep it or don't. There's no contract.
Right.
No contract exists. It either works, you use it, you love it, it helps you, or you get rid of it. That's it. And our job is to work with you as part of that $97 a month to make sure that you are utilizing it properly, that it is getting you in the door, getting you listings, making you a lot more money, so that the idea of quitting over $97 would be absurd. Because no matter how many listings you get from this, no matter how many sales you make, no matter how much compensation you earn from putting together cash offers, $97 will never change. You
Yeah.
can't spend more than that. You could beg us, please let us pay more. We made so much more. Please let us pay more. I'm sorry. You shan't. No, that's it. It's capped. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of kidding around here, but you get it.
Well, we had a training session the other day with an agent who said they had just done their first cash offer deal, and they'd only been in the program for a couple months. So,
And they
what is
actually
that?
closed the cash.
$200 investment
Yeah.
for
So
what?
Yeah, they got 14 days free. Then they used it for a month, 2 months, $97. They paid less than $200. And yeah, I think the investor paid them like close to $50,000 for setting
Right.
up the deal,
So, yeah.
right? That's a
So, yeah.
reasonable return on investment. I don't think they'll be
Mhm.
calling wanting to cancel anytime soon. I wouldn't think.
I hope not. That would be
Right?
silly of them.
So, but the
Yeah.
bottom line is this, you guys should do the same thing. Test it, try it. On day one, when you set up your free trial, you have access to all the cash offers right then and there. Immediately, you'll dive into the training. It's all part of it. And use it diligently for 2 weeks and then make the call, right? Make the
Right.
call at that point. And I think you'll want to have this in your tool belt. It's certainly not something
Very,
that
very
you'll.
low risk, high reward. That's my type of
Why don't we
investment.
switch gears a little bit here,
Mhm.
Kristie, and let's talk about the other side of the platform, which is also, you know, going in being in 2026. Man, this is like next level marketing as well.
Let's get into it. Lead generation. We both are pretty experienced in this area, have spent many, many years helping agents generate leads.
Yeah,
This is a new way of doing it, James.
yeah,
And I got to say that over the years, I've watched the cost of leads go up and up and up. We're talking $20 per lead, $40 per lead. Don't even get me started on Zillow and how much those leads cost.
yeah.
This new method, what are we getting leads
Well,
for?
the first question we ask is this, okay? Are you driving traffic to a website? Now, you know the answer for a lot of agents is no, they are not. They have a
Mm,
website, but don't mistake the question. Do you have a website is not, do you drive traffic to that website? They are completely two different things. There are plenty of agents
yes.
that have a website and nobody goes there. But there are also plenty of agents that are more marketing minded where they understand that the only reason to have a website is to drive traffic to that website. It'd be like the only reason to have a restaurant is to have customers in the restaurant. So the marketing is about
Yeah.
driving to that. And what do they do to drive traffic to their website? They engage in all kinds of different marketing, online, offline
Hmm.
marketing, um, media, radio, direct mail,
Hmm.
online marketing, right? There's all kinds of the outdoor advertising even, like even something as seemingly old school as like bus benches and billboards, driving people, go to the website. Here's an offer, go to the website. Pay per click, huge one. Big teams and companies with massive pay per click budgets paying two, three, four, five, $10 to drive a click to their website, not a person, to drive a
Hmm.
click to their website. Here's the problem. As we go into 2026 and beyond, what we're finding is consumers are more and more reluctant to give up their anonymity in exchange for information. The availability of information anonymously is so prevalent now that the idea of giving up your anonymity is becoming more and more and more suppressed.
Yeah.
And so here's our solution. What our technology allows us to do is identify about 25% of the visitors to any website, and even more particularly to any particular page on that website. It's able to identify the visitor without the visitor registering on the website. And the
Mm,
way it does it is, among other things, it utilizes the information about them through e-commerce. And now there are a number of, obviously the technology is a little more complicated than that. It does not use IP addresses. I know people are like, oh, I had one of those IP. See the cell phone? Useless IP address. No, doesn't work.
mm,
People are on their cell phone, not IP, has nothing to do with that. But the reason that e-commerce is so vital in this is because number one, they opt in. That's why we're able to get roughly 25, 30% is because they actually checked a box that opted in to sharing their information. Number two, when somebody makes a purchase online, they include 100% accurate information about themselves. Nobody's buying something and putting in a phony phone number or phony email or wrong address.
Right.
It's all 100% accurate and it's all verifiable. So if we're spending money getting clicks to go to our website, now we can actually also identify who are those visitors to our website. Now I'm going to freak you out even further. Not only is it able to give us the identity of who's on your website, it's able to show you where they were on your website and what specifically they were looking at. Better than that, you can actually watch a video of what they were doing. I want you to picture this. Someone goes to your website. They go to your IDX page. They're looking at properties, and you've got a camera right over their shoulder showing their screen. And you can see them with their mouse, and you can literally watch the video. They were on your site for 7 minutes, and you can see exactly what it is they were doing. You have their contact information. You know where they live. You know if they own the home. If they own the home, you know when they bought it. You know how much equity they have. You know who they bought it with. You have their confirmed phone number. It pings it to ensure that it's accurate. It will not give you an inaccurate contact. That's why it's 25%. 75% of them, they didn't opt in. It's not accurate. It can't be verified. Won't give them to you. It will only give you 100% opt-in verifiable visitors to your webpage. But when it gives them to you, these are incredibly accurate. Now let's compare that to they filled out a form on your website. Oh yeah? Do you really think their name was Charlie Brown? Really? Do you really think their phone number is 555-5555? You really think that's what it is? Of course not. It's inaccurate. Oh, I got a form filled out. Yeah, but you can't do anything with it. And
Yeah. And it probably cost, and what that lead could have cost you $20 for
yeah,
that Charlie Brown.
exactly.
So what
Right?
you're saying, James, is that if I'm spending $25 a day running Google ads, driving all this traffic to my site, even if somebody goes there and does not fill anything out, I'm still going to be generating leads.
As I said, I want to manage the expectations. Because we want the information to be 100% accurate, 25% roughly of those visitors, we're going to tell you who they were. We're going to tell you who
Right.
they were. We're going to tell you where they came from. We're going to tell you what they were looking at. We're going to tell you how long they were there. And we're going to let you watch a video that shows what they were doing when they were on your site. Next level
Mhm.
creepy. But watch this. When we follow up with them, I'm able to say, hey, Kristie, I'm James with ABC Realty. Hey, Kristie, the reason I was calling is I got a notification from Google that you'd visited our website at abcrealty.com and that you were interested in properties in XYZ. I just wanted to give you a quick courtesy call to see if it would be helpful if I added coming soon off market properties to your search. It's totally free. Would you like to know about those as well?
Okay.
Boom, boom, done.
What trickery is this?
Right?
Yeah.
I got notification from Google that you'd visited our website and that you're looking at properties in such and such. And I just wanted to call as a courtesy to see if you'd like to add coming soon and off-market homes to your search. It's free. Would that be helpful? It's a lead. It's a lead like any other lead. The
Mhm.
problem is that very person that you're going to convert into a $20,000 commission check, you would never have known who they were right now. No clue who they are. You can't. You don't know who they are. They're there anonymously. There is hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission income on your website every month, and you got no clue who they are. And remember,
And there is flexibility too. You can install the script on your entire site, or you can pick specific pages
it's
if you
what we
only want to
recommend.
get leads from specific pages. Yeah.
We certainly recommend
And you
that.
can,
Yeah, when we
yeah.
say the script, by the way, so I'm not like a huge technical, believe me, I had nothing to do with the development of this technology that did this, but like a tracking script is where you put it on the website. So if you put it on the homepage, it just gets anybody and everybody. Whereas we can actually put it on specific pages. So for example, I use the example of the IDX page. You've got a page where you know that you're driving buyers who are searching properties. You've got a home evaluation page, right? You might have different seller offer pages. That's where you want to put this. You're running a radio ad that says, hey, curious of the value of your home, we'll show you how to get the most amount of money and an accurate evaluation. Go to, and you've got a specific URL that takes them to a page on your site. That's where you want to put the tracking script. Instead of just
Yeah.
spending 10 grand a month on the radio spot that gets anonymous visitors, but little leads, now all of a sudden we can get as many leads as we want. And what we recommend is this. Start with, open it up to generate 2 to 5 leads a day in the beginning. It's $4 per lead. Okay, $4 a lead, and it automatically takes them and puts them into your CRM. So it's compatible with whatever CRM you're using. It will drop them directly into the CRM. Okay, now, if they already exist in your CRM, it's free. It's not a lead. You already had them. So there's no charge for that. So any of your existing leads or clients or anyone that goes to your website, if it gives it back to you, they'll not charge you money. But for a brand new lead, it's $4 a lead. And you start with 2 to 4 leads a day, keeping it reasonable. And then once you build the conversion follow-up process, then you can open it up. And we've got some clients now, they have it set to unlimited. So if they're driving like several thousand visitors to their website, it might get them 500, 600 leads, but they've got the apparatus to follow up, both in terms of following up through their CRM and following up manpower-wise on the phone. It's a combination of both. Do we do this training? Yes, it's all part of it. And again, it's $4 a lead. There's no setup fee. There's no like monthly. It's $4 a lead. We set it up for you. It's pay as you play for as long as you want to do it. If you want to turn it down, I'm going away. We don't need all these leads. Turn the lead volume down. You set it and you base it on the flow of leads that you want to generate, just as you would with pay-per-click, right? You limit the number of clicks you want to get. The only difference here is a click is anonymous. We're getting leads like actual human beings, right? So next level game changer.
They are. We know more about them than you would for a regular lead. The information is verified, and you actually can see exactly what it is that they're looking at, which, as a marketer, that information is invaluable. It's such great intel. So I love this platform. I think there's so many great things here that our agents can take advantage of. And we're all going to give you the chance to try it. As we said, very low risk, high benefit, high value. It is going to absolutely change the game in 2026 and give you all the tools that you need to jump ahead of your competition. A lot of agents are not using these tools. They don't even know they exist. So you can definitely be one of the first, and we will show you exactly how to use it and how to get the most out of it.
Yep, absolutely. You know what? I know that everybody wants to have an amazing 2026. We all do. I do. Kristie does. You do. Everybody wants to have an amazing 2026. And you know, I don't think you're looking for motivation per se. I think you're looking for the tools and the instruction. Like, tell me what to do. Not that I can do it. Hey, look, the odds of us even being here is billions to one, from what I understand. Like, there's no real way that I should even be here, or you, or anybody else for that matter. It's like, it's stupid. So it's malpractice to not take advantage of this absurd fact that we're even here. Like, and how come we were born during the dark ages? Like, it's, what's going on? We got lucky. We already won the lottery. So let's take advantage of it. And so now that the motivational part is over, like, let's talk about the tools. We have the opportunity to implement tools that our competition does not have and get the training to learn how to utilize those tools and really take this to the next level. To not take advantage of that, if it makes sense to you, that would be malpractice as well. So we're just here to make it as easy
Exciting.
as possible for you to be like, all right, I'll try it. And then let us take the wheel from there. And we will certainly help you do that. And I'm looking forward to more and more and more awesome success stories as 2026 progresses here, Kristie.
Absolutely. Yep. So that I think that will be where we'll close it out today. Thank you so much, James. I look forward to seeing all of the great things that are going to come in the next year, and we can't wait to hit the ground running. It's going to be amazing.
It certainly is. So I'll look forward to it, and I'll see you guys on the other side as well with all the training that we're doing. And until then, peace out.